In the book of Genesis, God asks Noah to build an ark.
The Noah story serves to provide a platform of understanding for all future disasters. It is the ultimate disaster.
But where does the story come from? An ancient tablet may hold the answer.
I took one look at it, and to my astonishment, I realized that this was another retelling of the flood story.
Far older than the Bible, the text describes a vessel very different from Noah's.
Everyone has their image of the ark, and then suddenly we have this one appear that says, hey, it's round, it's a basket boat. I think that's a fascinating thing to look at.
Now, a team of investigators has set out to build the ark described in the tablet. Traveling to the once lush marshlands of Iraq, near the site of ancient Babylon, a land that was ravaged by regular floods. And to India, where craftspeople skilled in ancient techniques will attempt to construct a vessel large enough to withstand a major flood.
I think if you brought a Babylonian into the present to see this boat when it's finished, that he would recognize it as something coming from his culture.
The story of the Ark, a turning point in history, when the Babylonian Empire collides with the world of the Bible.
This is the moment the history of the Jewish people begins. Not at the beginning of time, after the flood.
Climb on board to discover the secrets of Noah's Ark, right now on Nova.
Major funding for Nova is provided by the following. The David H. Koch Fund for Science, supporting Nova and promoting public understanding of science. And the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, and by PBS viewers like you. Thank you.
At the Israel Museum in Jerusalem, some of the oldest known fragments of the Bible are being recorded and preserved. The 2,000-year-old Dead Sea Scrolls contain the first biblical reference to a cataclysmic flood.
The Lord saw how great the wickedness of the human race had become on the earth. So the Lord said, I will wipe from the face of the earth the human race I have created. But Noah found favor in the eyes of the Lord. Genesis 6, 5, 7, and 8.
Today, the story of Noah and the flood is central to the scriptures of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. In the story, God sends a great flood as punishment for the sins of humanity.
Because it is a moral, ethical God. The takeaway lesson, in effect, is that You better do what this God wants. Otherwise, there will be big trouble.
The righteous Noah is told by God to build an ark to save his family and a pair of every type of animal. When the storm subsides, Noah offers a sacrifice to God, who then makes a covenant with Noah, promising that humanity will never again be destroyed by flood. This pact between man and God is the foundation of morality in the biblical book of Genesis.
When you're telling the story of the beginnings of humanity, the flood story is part of that story.
Without this moment of the flood, you have no framework within which humans can develop the life that will permit their perpetuity. You have to have it there.
But why is a defining moral tale in the Bible, forged in the desert hills of Judea, shaped by a flood and a ship? Where did its authors get the idea? The answer lies in the world's first writing system. At the British Museum, Dr. Irving Finkel is one of the world's few experts in the ancient script called cuneiform. And he shares his knowledge with all generations.
This is an exercise tablet from an ancient school. It's made of clay, squashed flat, and the writing is done on the surface of the clay. So they never wrote on paper or papyrus like the Egyptians.
Cuneiform evolved in what is today modern Iraq, in an ancient area between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, Mesopotamia, the cradle of civilization. The earliest examples are from around 5,000 years ago. Originally used for bookkeeping, its first marks are symbols of commodities, like these ears of barley. But soon this picture-based system develops into symbols representing syllables.
Divide the name up into syllables. Henry will be He-en-ri. It was a tremendously significant step for the human race because it meant suddenly it became possible to record language properly.
Over the course of 2 millennia, cuneiform tablets become widespread throughout Mesopotamia. It's here during the 19th century that British archaeologists discover 130,000 of them, now under Irving's care. One of them told an explosive story. In 1872, its secret was revealed by a British museum assistant named George Smith.
Well, George Smith's a bit of a hero of mine. He turned out to have an absolute genius for understanding cuneiform almost at sight. And when Smith read the story in this tablet, he read something that no person had read since remote antiquity.
In the tablet from 700 BCE, Smith was shocked to read key parts of a flood story that closely resembled Noah.
He discovered there's going to be a deluge to destroy the world. The gods choose one human being as a hero, and this character had to build a boat in order to put life in it to withstand the waters so that afterwards everything could start all over again. I think he had a proper fit because of the shock of discovering a text which he knew from the Hebrew Bible by heart was suddenly there in front of him in this totally strange medium.
Smith found parallels in even the most obscure details. In both stories, the flood hero releases 3 sets of birds to find dry land. And both offer a sacrifice that their god smells.
The two texts were somehow strongly wedded together. They had a literary relationship, one derived from the other.
Over 1,000 years, several versions of the Babylonian flood myth emerged. Could the parallels between all these Mesopotamian flood myths and Noah's story be merely coincidence?
There is a borrowing here. They're all different pictures of the same personage, the same literary creation.
There's an overall parallel. There are a number of very specific points of parallel which suggest that this is not just a random association.
But there is one major difference: the ark itself. In the Hebrew Bible, Noah builds a massive rectangular boat. But in one of the earliest Babylonian stories, the ark description is incomplete.
It says the ark you are to build, ... be equal ... and then it's broken.
Because the tablet is missing a piece, features of the Babylonian ark were a mystery. It would be almost a century before a key clue would emerge. In 1948, a Royal Air Force officer named Leonard Simmons was serving in the Middle East. One day, he went into a market and bought an interesting-looking piece of clay with strange inscriptions. The object lay forgotten in his home for 40 years, until his son took it to the British Museum to see if it might be of interest.
Once in a while, manna from heaven falls just when you need it.
The tablet was from the ancient Mesopotamian kingdom of Babylonia.
This is what the tablet looks like. Nothing exceptional until you start to read it. And I took one look at it, and to my astonishment, I realized from the first lines only that this was another retelling of the flood story.
But the inscription was squeezed onto a 4,000-year-old badly damaged piece of clay. To confirm his first analysis, Irving takes the tablet to the International Manufacturing Center at Warwick University. They produce a perfect 3D model, allowing him to re-examine the text in forensic detail. The tablet begins with a Babylonian god's instructions to the hero of the story, named Atra-Hassis.
He tells him to tear down the house and use the materials to build a boat.
And then comes a detailed description of this boat.
Eitzir Shema, draw it out, etzirti kipatim, with the design of a circle. As you wade through this funny script, you cannot deny that this was the idea. It was a round boat. You think to yourself, how can this be? The Ark is one of the most familiar, iconic things in the whole world. But when you start to think about it, we know that on the rivers of Mesopotamia, the Euphrates and the Tigris River, they had round boats.
On a Mesopotamian seal, dated 2500 BCE, is the cross-section of a round vessel. And at the British Museum are other images of round boats, called coracles, from 700 BCE, carrying cargoes of stone. So is the tablet describing a real vessel?
It's supposed to be mythology, but as you go further down the tablet, you discover that the detailed specifications about how to build this thing are given us.
The tablet lists the Ark's components and proportions in detail, suggesting real boat-building knowledge.
Instead of it being made-up facts, we actually have details predicated on the idea of building a real coracle.
But the coracle described in the tablet is enormous, 222 feet across. So Irving wanted to know, could such an enormous round boat actually be built?
Quite frankly, it seemed to me the only possible thing you could do was to take these instructions about how to build a giant coracle and build a giant coracle.
Very few boat builders in the world have the expertise to take up Irving's challenge. But if there's one person who can build such a vessel, it's maritime archaeologist Dr. Tom Vosmer. Tom has built a career from resurrecting ancient boats from literary evidence.
Everyone has their image of the Ark, and then suddenly we have this one appear that says, hey, it's round, it's a basket boat. I think that's a fascinating thing to look at and see if we can make it work.
With him is Eric Staples, maritime historian and boat builder,
Tendindon?
and Alessandro Guidoni, a world expert in ancient boat technology. They've taken Irving's translation of the tablet and converted the Babylonian measurements. Right away, they see the problem: the scale of the ark. So big, its structure could never support its weight.
Its size, it's obviously physically impossible. But let's try to see, how far we can push it, how large we can actually make it.
Also, the tablet lists materials, but doesn't say how the Babylonians would have to put them together. Luckily, there is more recent evidence. These images from the 1930s show round Iraqi boats called guffas, ferrying passengers and goods. In 1934, a British boat historian named James Hornell carried out detailed research on guffas. He wrote that they were made of fibrous plants found near waterways, either reeds or palm leaves, bound into ropes and coiled into a basket-like hull. Wooden ribs held the shape of the hull, and a layer of bitumen, or pitch, made it waterproof. These are the same materials described in the 4,000-year-old Ark tablet that Irving Finkel analyzed. If the team is going to build the kind of round boat described in the Babylonian myth, they need to examine a more modern example. These are the heavily guarded oil fields of southern Iraq. For any outsider, traveling here is risky.
Committed to providing orphanages and abandoned children with everyday necessities, cordially invites you to her exciting annual fundraising gala dinner and dance. Guest speaker Sylvia Buller, Isaac, and other speakers on the theme From Dream to Destiny. There'll be a full-course dinner, entertainment, dancing, wines, full open bars, silent auction, raffle, door prizes. Date is Saturday, 11th of November, 2017 at Chateau Les Jardins Event, venue 8440 Highway 27, Woodbridge, Ontario, Canada. Doors and red carpet reception starts at 5:30 prompt. Purchase your tickets now. Regular tickets $80, VIP tickets $100, VIP table for 10, $950, children $60. To obtain your tickets, visit www.seedofvictoryfoundation.org or call Veronica at 416-606-6692, Lee at 416-453-2974, or Session Plus at 647-874-0498. Tickets are limited, so get yours now. Giving is not just about making a donation, it's about making a difference. A portion of ticket sales will be donated to an orphanage in Toronto. Visit www.seedofvictoryfoundation.org for more details.
Ark is definitely a new one for me, that's for sure.
Eric needs to reach one of the few places where there is evidence of Iraq's traditional boat-building skills: the great marshes of southern Iraq. This ancient aquatic wilderness once covered 12,000 square miles. It was home to hundreds of thousands of marsh Arabs. But much of it was drained by Saddam Hussein in the early 90s to punish those resisting his regime. Eric has come to meet Azam Al-Wash. Azam is an expert in marsh traditions and boat technology, and he also owns possibly the last remaining guffa in Iraq. As modern roads, bridges, and river launches were built, guffas became obsolete. This example exists only because Azam had it constructed.
Hello.
Eric.
Azam.
Pleasure meeting.
Yeah, likewise. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, good.
So here's our guffa.
This is the guffa. Wonderful.
The building of this guffa started with weaving in circles. It rings upon rings, woven together with traditional weaving techniques. The same technique is used.
Eric recognizes the components described in the Ark tablet: the coiled rope of the hull made from marsh reeds, the wooden ribs of its skeleton, and waterproofing bitumen, the asphalt-like substance that's been used to seal the hulls of boats since antiquity.
Do you think I could give it a try?
Sure, why not?
All right. Good.
Hey, natural sailor.
It's very stable, which is why it was once used as an all-purpose ferry boat. But Eric wants to know if it can be scaled up. And if so, how big can he build a round boat? The 20th century historic record indicates that the biggest gufas were up to 18 feet in diameter, much less than the 222 feet the tablet suggests. Could this be the limit of the round boat technology, today and in ancient times?
The method of construction.
Azam takes Eric to see a building technique that dates back more than 5,000 years. A reed house.
Assalamu alaikum. So there it is. The entire rigidity of the structure comes in from the tension built into these arches. There's no metal in the building of these structures. It's reeds upon reeds upon reeds. They are kind of brought together by the tension of these twisted reeds.
Could the ancient Babylonians have used this house-building technique as the basis for constructing their large round ark?
So the circle that runs around here is one way of basically holding it all in together, using the tension, the natural tension, the strength of reeds, basically, because they're flexible, but there's still a strength within the flexibility, particularly when you bundle them like this.
But you're saying here that this is going to be 10, 15
10,
meters?
12 meters, yes, yeah.
Okay.
Interlock the frames.
Eric arrived with just the 4,000-year-old tablet details. Now, he has the beginnings of a design for his large Babylonian coracle. But many obstacles remain, beginning with where to build.
I'd love to build it in Iraq, but considering the logistical issues and security issues as well, it's not realistic here. So the question is, where if not Iraq?
Another question is, how credible is the tablet in describing the flood? Today, this region is desert. How likely is it that a great flood could have inundated this parched landscape thousands of years ago, as the Babylonian myth describes? This is one of the places that gave birth to that legend. Home of first the Sumerian, then Babylonian empires, the ancient city of Ur. Just 20 miles from the Great Marshes, Ur dates back more than 5,000 years. It's here in 1928 that British archaeologist Sir Charles Leonard Woolley made a startling discovery. In 1922, Woolley and his team came in search of early Mesopotamian civilization. He found remains of an entire royal dynasty, a testament to the sophistication and power of the Sumerian elite. And then he made an equally stunning discovery. A distinctive layer of river silt, 10 feet thick. It had been laid down by a massive flood. The grandson of a member of Woolley's team relates how the discovery evoked the biblical story of Noah.
They found layer of sand to the south of Ur, north of Ur, and east and west. That means that happened a big flood, and they thought that is the same flood of Noah, the great man, the great prophet at that time.
This connection to Noah's flood made the layer of sand more famous than Ur's treasures, especially when other archaeologists began finding flood deposits in neighboring cities like Uruk, Shuruppak, and Kish. The idea of a single great flood grew, But there is a problem. When the layers were dated, they were found to be caused by different events, spread over 1,000 years. So was there ever really a single great flood? Landscape archaeologist Dr. Jenny Purnell is looking for the answer. For over a decade, Jenny has been investigating how the landscape of Iraq has changed over thousands of years. Today, she is taking a core sample, part of a series that covers a broad area. She's digging 68 miles south of Ur, in a marshland that was recently drained for oil exploitation. It's a chance
Victory Foundation, a nonprofit organization committed to providing orphanages and abandoned children with everyday necessities, cordially invites you to her exciting annual fundraising gala dinner and dance. Guest speaker Sylvia Buller Isaac and other speakers on the theme From Dream to Destiny. There'll be a full course dinner, entertainment, dancing, wines, full open bars, silent auction, raffle, door prizes. Date is Saturday, 11th of November 2017 at Chateau Les Jardins Event, venue 8440 Highway 27, Woodbridge, Ontario, Canada. Doors and red carpet reception starts at 5:30 prompt. Purchase your tickets now. Regular tickets $80, VIP tickets $100, VIP table for 10, $950, children $60. To obtain your tickets, visit www.seedofvictoryfoundation.org or call Veronica at 416-606-6692, Lee at 416-453-2974, or Session Plus at 647-874-0498. Tickets are limited, so get yours now. Giving is not just about making a donation, it's about making a difference. A portion of ticket sales will be donated to an orphanage in Toronto. Visit www.seedofvictoryfoundation.org for more details.
Come smiling on my face. I want them, yeah. Lord of His mercy. Gentleman, not Mr. Percy. Yeah, me know. Enough of them want come this the other. Them want me fist up, but me I go push harder. And even when the road of life get broader, say me still a claim this a we want ya when the journey get longer. Enough of them a get weaker. Oh yes. The almighty people, them don't know if they fight against. No bother be no barrier, no be no wire fence. Come make we burn bad mind and burn fast pretense. And them a go on with it, don't make no sense. So when you see me on the road and me a touch certain and certain friends, genuine but me not just certain friends. Till me free up in the Gideon and don't move tense. I don't the wicked them a so many times them this the order. They want me fist up back, me I go push harder. And even when the road of life get broader, say me still a claim this a we want ya when the journey get longer. Enough of them I get weaker. Oh yes, don't watch the journey continue, there is no time to rest. The fittest of the fittest and the best of the best. Enough of them can't keep up, so them end up depressed. You put them to a challenge and them all feel the test. Now is depression upon depression and stress after stress. You wicked heart, we prepare godliness. Don't try stop me program because you know that I'm blessed. And nothing more, nothing less. So many times them this the order. They want me to stop back, me I go push harder. And even when the road of life get broader, so me still a claim this a we want ya when the journey get longer. Enough of them I get weaker. Oh yes, hold on for a second, no wait a minute. The thing just a start, who no think it finish. Me not just coming at the thing a long time, me in a hit. And now the light shines so bright and none of them can dim it. So when you hear me pan a rhythm, you no hear no gimmick. Never down in the race because I'm bound to win it. I don't care about life, just give it and live it. And if the music take me higher, I'm with it legit. Who want this the order? Them want me to stop back, me I go push harder. And even when the road of life get broader, say me still a claim this a we want ya when the journey get longer. Enough of them I get weaker. Again, so many times them this the order. They want me to stop back, me I go push harder. And even when the road of life get broader, say me still a claim this a we want ya when the journey get longer. Enough of them I get weaker. Oh yes. So many times them this the order. Lord of life get broader.
Say one day I go disappear. Baby, baby, oh baby, why you come this fear? Say one day I go disappear. Baby, baby, oh baby, why you come this fear? Say one day I go disappear. Baby, baby, oh baby, why you come this fear?
This my life, I can always love you.
Everything way I don't promise I go do. You suppose know by now. supposed know by now.
You can hear me sober. I know that joke when I tell you, you supposed know by now. Yeah, and I'm leaving you, baby. I go love you till the end of time, and you supposed know by now. Oh, I love you, baby. You know it's true, yeah, you supposed know by now. Play with me, boy. Jiggle, jiggle, wiggle, but you supposed know by now. I hope you don't. Look, got no time for any niggas. You supposed know by now.
Why you they ask me if I love you? After all,
Ngeba siyathandana uyaluba sithandane silale madunge ndibanjwa nguwe uyaluba sithandane silale madunge nguwe lo uyaluba sithandane silale madunge denziwa nguwe uyaluba sithandane silale madunge bazali bam ndibizelenu nomfula wa tetani naye itani ivileta bazali bam ndibizeleni sithandwa sa itani guso itani ivileta wena sithandwa sam zalaishi mote masimini zalaisha bogondilindile zalaishi mote masimini zalaisha sithandwa sam zalaishi mote masimini zalaisha agavelu nomvula wam zalaishi mote masimini zalaisha ndibanga tumela badlula ngendli awuphenduli nomvula wam ndibanga tumela bahlobo bakho awuphenduli nomvula wam ndibanga tumela badlula ngendli awubuyi nomvula wam ndibanga tumela bahlobo bakho awuphenduli nomvula wam bazali bam ndibizelenu nomvula wam tetani naye itani ivileta wena bazali bam ndibizeleni sithandwa sa tetani naye itani ivileta wena sithandwa sa zalaishi mote masimini zalaisha bogondilindile zalaishi mote masimini zalaisha sithandwa sa zalaishi mote masimini zalaisha akavelu nomvula wam zalaishi mote masimini zalaisha Sitanda sa Zalaishi mote masimini zalaisha Ogondilindile Zalaishi mote masimini zalaisha Sitanda sa Zalaishi mote masimini zalaisha Ogondilindile Zalaishi mote masimini zalaisha
Izandla phezulu awunginikhuthuze izandla phezulu awunginikhuthuze
mina ngiyayisapota kodwa
Simukali mali yakhe sapawami thina siyancanywa
ngiyazi bafethu ukuthi nginganqanywa mina ngincene ukuthi fill up the table count the empties fill up the table count the empties asifuzeni bafethu nabo utshwala niyazi mina ukuthi ngithume ngani mase ngibuzile ngiyayishaya ingoma
Dalinto zakho namawude esithi nga awufake into zakho namaneshi esithi nga yasa lomshini uyakhuluma man uyawuzwa uthi nga hey lomshini uyakhuluma man hey uthi nga
lokutwala mncane bafethu mina ngaphuza bonke semthembu upoporopoko lethangi lami lesisu bese ngiyasuka ngihambela ngithi ngonzelene munye umuzi onotshwala hayi mina ngiyofela etshwaleni kwenze njani hayi mina ngiyofela etshwaleni kwenze njani
awunginikhuthuze yasa lomshini uyakhuluma man uyawuzwa uthi nga hey lomshini uyakhuluma man hey uthi nga awudlala into zakho namawude esithi nga khona manje esithi nga
Thatha nansi inhliziyo yami, thatha naluthando lwakho, thatha nansi inhliziyo yami, suyiphathe njengeqanda, sithandwa ndithi ngabo, ndiyasithandela apha kuwe. Ngayo kukwindlela ondibamba ngayo, baby, indlela ondijonga ngayo.